Hi, this is Steve Schmidt, creator of Effect Web Agency. And this article here is for people that have 500 to 1,000 or more unique visitors to their website each month, but they feel like they're really not getting that many leads from it. We had one of our international clients was getting about 0.1% of their visitors to actually contact them. And after implementing the points in this article, their results went up to 1%, which is actually a good conversion rate for what they're doing, and that's a 10 times increase in what they were getting out of it. So let me tell you a little bit about what their website was like before we implemented these changes. It had a ton of content on it. It typically required people to jump around to a few different pages to gather enough information to be ready and motivated enough to contact them. They had a generic call to action like, well, if you want to talk, contact us for a free consultation. What would you get in that consultation, or what would be the result, was a little unclear. To sum it up, the website was a research project for each visitor with a weak call to action, and in the end, the website didn't perform very well. So let's talk about the 3 bottlenecks we can remove, or I should say improve these 3 ingredients to facilitate getting the maximum number of results, or at least being in that range of getting probably the most that you can out of your site. So what we're going to talk about is being intentional on focusing your home page, landing pages, and call to actions on the goal of getting leads. If your website is kind of a mini research project for your visitors, and you might have some kind of weak generic call to action like contact us, and if you've got some traffic now that are probably people that want what you have, at least maybe 500 to 1,000 people a month, then by implementing these things you should see an increase in results in a few months if everything else is decent. So let's talk about the home page first. We need to make sure that the home page is doing its job. What is the job of a home page? Is it to tell everybody everything that you guys can do? No. We want to keep the home page simple. It's really a catch-all page. It's the page that Google sends people to if Google can't find any better, more relevant, more specific page on your site to send people to for whatever they searched for. It's also the page that people type in off your business card or some other kind of brand awareness type advertising. So we get all kinds of visitors that come to the home page, and they need to first be able to size you up, because if they're at the right place, they can then check that off in their mind and ask the next question, which is, what do I do next? Let's take a look at this home page example. And when we look at this, think about the 80-20 rule. We want to help 80% of the people that come to the website, and we probably only need about 20% of the message to do that. The other 20% of people are miscellaneous people. They'll just need to look around the site the old-fashioned way, because it's not worth making the home page convoluted to try to cater to everybody. So in this example, we've got 3 basic ingredients for the home page. We've got a 1 or 2 sentence sizing up intro statement. It's important that we do it in 1 or 2 sentences. For one, people will read that. If it's a paragraph or more, your percentage of people that actually read it go way down, and they default to scattering their eyes around the page and going to the menu to try to figure out what's going on. The truth is, if we can't do it in 1 or 2 sentences, the message is really too complicated, and we may not even be clear on it ourselves. And if we're not clear, the visitors certainly won't be. Remember, at this point, the visitor's just trying to make a decision if you're even a possibility for them. They only need enough information to answer that question. The second ingredient is a photo or a slideshow or even a video that presents the most important messages to them. The important message or messages might be your differences, your true differences, or it might showcase the recent important new events or happenings going on with your company, if your goal is to build credibility and show that you're alive and kicking. So we've got that here at point B. Point C is the right next action. As you can see here, we've got browse the idea gallery, view floor plans, and find a builder. Now there's other next actions here, but when you think about that 80-20 rule, these three next actions are going to satisfy 80% of the people coming to the site. And it's not a mistake they're actually in that order. The first thing people want to do is get ideas and get excited and get motivated to think about their new home in this case. Once a person kind of has a vision for it, then they can go and look at floor plans, kind of the specs and the technical stuff to see how they can turn that vision into a reality or the nearest reality available. Once they know what they want, they're ready to find that builder. Since these are the right next actions for the vast majority of the people, since they're in the right order, and since they don't require any research or extra reading, we've eliminated a lot of friction, and we're allowing them to just flow through this website at lightning speed. People like that, and they like to get to what they want quick, and we're helping them do that. So let's just make sure that on your home page you've got the next actions that are most appropriate for 80% of the people going there. I probably wouldn't put any more than 3 there, and just make them crystal clear and in the right order. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Specific landing pages work better than your typical and traditional description and detail pages of services. Let's clarify exactly what a landing page is. It's pretty simple. Either some kind of ad out there or your home page can send a visitor to a landing page. The visitor believes that when they clicked on that ad or that section of the home page, that they are going to find what they are looking for, that it's going to be relevant to them, and that they're going to accomplish the mission that they're on your website. Then they come to the landing page. They call this a landing page simply because somebody lands on it, usually from outside the website. The job of a landing page is to help the visitor take the suggested action. This could result in a new lead or somebody downloading something or whatever next action makes sense for them to take and that you want them to take. Now, coming soon, we're going to have an article with a comprehensive checklist in layman's terms of how to make an effective landing page. With this checklist, anybody can do it. So if you want to be notified when this new article is published, just submit the No Insights form on the right of this page. Here it is. And we'll make sure you get notified with that article. But we're not going to leave you hanging today. Let's cover the 5 most important ingredients of a good landing page. 1, it's made for a specific audience. It addresses a specific need. The offer is highly relevant to that audience and their need. And the call to action makes perfect sense according to those first 3 things, according to the audience, their need, and what we're talking about on the page. If those things are not aligned together, a person will probably leave. And they've got to have the right amount of information in this page so they are equipped to be able to make the decision that you're asking them to make in the call to action. If we have a very complicated offer, like if we're a law firm or a financial consulting firm or some kind of software company, and if we don't give them enough answers to their questions or concerns for them to be able to contact us or see if they have a case or whatever, they won't take that action just simply because we haven't equipped them to. Now, there are other website landing pages that have a much simpler product or service that's already well understood, and we don't need as much content. Remember, the rule is not to always have a little content or to always have very detailed content. The rule is to have the right amount of content to answer their concerns so they can make that decision. Think the 80-20 rule again. We don't need to have a book on here though, but let's just make sure we answer all known major questions and concerns people have that would stop them from taking the action. Then when that person takes the action, they're usually known as a conversion or a lead or whatever you want to call it. It's what we want out of the landing page. Now I want to challenge you to take a look at your services pages, which usually are descriptions and details, and think of them as landing pages. Turn them into landing pages with specific call to actions so you can get more out of them. So that brings us to our next point. Let's talk about effective call to actions. Generally, effective websites have a general call to action that follows most of the pages or that's available on most of the pages on the website, and then it will have very specific call to actions on certain pages. So to the right here we can see the little tiny free local visibility check call to action. This is the call to action on our local listings page. Rather than say, contact us for free consultation on how we can, help you improve results, we've helped them understand what the specific relevant next step is for them. We're saying that we're going to answer their question of how is their business going to show up, or how is their business currently showing up on local search, how well. And they know what to expect because we're telling them that we're going to take a look and give them a free report within 48 hours. They know what it is, they know what they're going to get, and by the form they know what they need to put into it, which isn't very much. So it's a pretty clear and relevant call to action. Now, to help you think about what your call to actions can be, because it is hard to think of these sometimes, especially when you're so into what you're doing, we've put together these 3 qualifying questions that you can test any call to action you come up with. Is it a good value for them? Is it specific, and is it highly relevant? Let's take the case of a heating and cooling company, and let's say they have a call to action that says, call to get a free furnace checkup. Is it a good value? Well, if they seem to be a reputable company from what I gather, and this checkup is going to tell me the condition of my furnace or whatever, we have to be specific about what a checkup actually will result in. Yeah, that might be a good value. Is it specific? Yeah, again, if I know what the checkup actually is. Is it highly relevant? Well, gosh, that's really only highly relevant if I think I want to keep my furnace, and if I actually want somebody to look at my furnace and not my air conditioner. So this might be a good call to action for certain pages on the website. Now, as you create your call to actions, ask yourself a question. Am what I'm asking the visitor to do going to be perceived as well worth it to get whatever the call to action is going to give them? Basically, does the visitor feel like they're going to get a lot more value out of this than what they're putting into it? If so, they're probably going to do it. On the flip side, you've probably been to websites where they want you to subscribe to something, or they want you to fill out some information just to download something or get a tool. And when you're looking at the form, you see a bunch of extra fields like address and whatever that, that type of information it's not really needed for me as the visitor to get what I'm trying to get through the call to action. Therefore, it doesn't make sense. Therefore, it causes friction and people are less likely to actually do it. So only ask for as much information as you really need, as it makes sense to ask for your particular call to action. So has this article made a lot of sense to you? I'm confident that it has. The world's filled with smart people, And it's not so much that anybody doesn't know how to do something, but it's usually more of we're busy, or we need people to collaborate with to do it the best, or there's some kind of technical bottleneck or something. If you'd like a partner to collaborate to improve these types of results, Effect might be a good fit for you. This is what we do. We help people make smart decisions in web marketing. Our mission is keeping you in the know, making sure you understand the best options so you can make those smart decisions, and empowering you to do the things you want to do yourself. Depending on where you're at, a good place to start may be doing the website assessment. The website assessment is a simple service we offer where myself, Steve Schmidt, and Sean Knopfsinger manually review your website and give you a full report on how we think and you can improve your website's effectiveness and why within 72 hours. If you agree with our suggestions, you can do them yourself or collaborate with us to make any changes. I hope by listening to this you feel empowered to take action. Thanks for listening.